you've been out to Mare Island or are a fan of Redwood Empire, then you know what this is. This is the new Redwood Empire Whiskey Bar Tasting Room, and we're here to do something that I have been waiting for a really long time, which is finally pick a whiskey bonded Redwood Empire Haystack single barrel. I'm absolutely freaking stoked. Let's go. I was gonna wear my Redwood Empire t-shirt, but I'm like, is it too much? Is that like geeking out too much?
Our ABC license took a little bit longer, as they always do, and so even though we started operating here out of the first of the year, we've been operating under Savage & Cook's license until about a month ago, maybe. So now we get to pour Redwood, we get to sell 3 bottles per day per person. We are continuing to sell Savage & Cook because we also own that brand, but really the focus going forward is on Redwood. We found that it offers really a great vehicle for the island. This is the only full bar on the island. And so we were closed for about 3 weeks while we were doing some renovation. And there was a lot of people knocking on the door like, hey, when are you gonna open back up? And
Please let us in.
We obviously get to pour all of our Redwood stuff, but since we're a full bar as part of our licensing, we can make cocktails with other stuff. We're so excited about the opportunity to have this vehicle. And it's great because it's perfectly framed by these 2 giant gantries that used to be where they serviced and actually built ships. And they were building, at some point, a very large vessel, and somebody did their math wrong, and they actually had to jackhammer back the building like 20 feet to finish the vessel, which is why from the outside it looks a little bit rough. But just super cool history all around this island. Just a little brief background on this space, and then we'll do a little tour, and I'll let you run that.
Has anyone not been here before? Okay, a few people. This all used to be some of the bonded barrel storage. We just moved out all of the full barrels of whiskey that were in here so that we'd have more space to do events, to do educational things, all of that kind of stuff. So right now it's looking a little bare because we've literally just moved all of the whiskey that was here out of this space. Part of the company is going to be upstairs, which is where we're set up for the tasting. And we're going to go out, take a look at the silos from outside, talk a little bit about our process, and then we'll sit down and get to drinking.
Great.
So these are our silos. Our mashes that we were doing in Grayton were about 4,000 pounds a mash, and we do 10,000 pounds a mash here.
We do malt every day. Typically that's in 50 to 55 pound sacks that we're dosing in by hand into the mill. We do bring in super sacks still as well, and are figuring out the best way, and we're going to get some equipment modified to handle those. And so we have been doing malt. We have done a run of single malt already, but not by silo yet, so that'll be exciting.
We had to do like 6 tote bags.
Yeah.
We are somewhat limited by the fermentation system here, so there's 5,000 gallon fermenters down there and only 1 mash tun. So there is a bit of a bottleneck when it comes to feeding the still. So that's really the thing that's kind of preventing the increased production and really maxing out the capacity.
Probably next year we'll add some additional fermenters. You'll see as we get on stage, but we're pretty tapped out internally in the building what we can add, but there is the courtyard in between the buildings, and so we're looking at that as a possibility of doing some double-sized fermenters, like some 10, 11,000 gallon fermenters.
It's kind of nice we're not running today because we can actually have a conversation down here. When we're running, even with the installation on these chain conveyors, it can still get pretty loud. So we generally, at least about 4 days worth of fermentation, again, kind of depending on scheduling and timing and all of that stuff, and we get about 10% alcohol. At that column, it'll strip the initial alcohol off of the solids, a lot of the water. Right now it's coming off right around 120. That will kind of fall over into the doubler, which is essentially a pot still. That liquid will collect in there and undergo kind of like a secondary distillation where it kind of has the refining features of a finishing run kind of gets that alcohol just a little bit higher in proof. And then off of the doubler, it'll go into one of the blending tanks so we can calculate what the volume is and the overall yield for each one of our fermentations.
Barrels at this point are coming from Speyside cooperage. They're in Ohio, Canton, Ohio, I think, or somewhere in Ohio. We've been using them since 2018 off and on. Really like the quality of the barrels. We started out using Kelvin in 2015. The whiskeys we're going to taste those are all in Kelvin barrels. Those were nice as well, and no problems with those. But Speyside just really have enjoyed those.
Choosing a barrel is one of the most important decisions that you make, and I think that their barrels really produce something in line with what we're trying to achieve, which is a slightly softer, a slightly more grain-forward spirit. And we don't want that barrel to kind of completely eclipse everything, all that hard work that we've done during fermentation and distillation. And I've been so impressed with the output on those Speyside barrels.
So we're going to leave and come back in an hour.
Yeah, good luck. No physical altercations, no.
Can we get full bottles?
So the first three that are lined up are going to be the bourbon. So out of these 5, there are 3 bourbon offerings, and then there's going to be 2 rye.
So for now, the goal is for the Haystack to every year be an 8 here. Really, we started distilling in 15 and really started distilling in 16, if you want to be honest. The stuff we did in 15 was weird and not good and mostly gone.
So it's minimum 8 years. Some of them are older.
Any sort of analysis that I do, I have an order in which I kind of like give the most weight to. So it goes aromatics, texture, and flavor.
So number 1 and 2 are the same mash bill. They're both 72% corn, 18 rye. The number 3 is our high rye at 51% corn, 44% rye, 2.5 wheat, 2.5 barley. 2 is the highest proof by a couple points. It's 122. Number 1 was right under 120 at 119 and change. And number 3 is the lowest proof. That's a 117, right? Yeah, roughly 118.
So I thought it'd be appropriate to wrap this up in front of the still that represents the future of Redwood Empire and a massive increase in distilling ability. We picked a really fantastic high rye bourbon today, and thanks to Jeff Duckworth and Lauren Patz for being here. I want to say thank you to Eric and Elliott for making this happen. To be able to be the very first group that did a single barrel pick in this new space is an incredible realization of like my love of Redwood Empire and all of this crazy stuff we've been doing over the last few years. And to be able to be here is an incredible honor. Redwood Empire was super generous, and we did pick a high rye, a super fantastic high rye bourbon that you'll be able to get obviously at bondedbottleshop.com. But I want to say thank you to the patrons for being here to help me pick it. This is the first pick we had where there was so much good on the table that it was difficult to pick the one that we were going to do. I tried to get 2 and they said no. I might have gotten a little greedy, to be honest. But you don't get if you don't ask. So there you go. I'm Conrad. This is Whiskey Bonded from Redwood Empire's new Whiskey Barn Tasting Room on Mare Island in California. Follow Whiskey Bonded, follow Redwood Empire. They're going to be doing distillery only releases and a lot of really cool new exciting things coming out of this space that you are definitely going to want to follow. Man, sorry, I'm just geeking out right now. Like, comment, and subscribe for more Redwood Empire, for more barrel picks, for more Patreon shenanigans, and maybe think about joining our Patreon and coming along with us to one of these barrel picks in the future, because man, they are a ton of fun, and you get to buy a whiskey that you picked out yourself with a little help. I mean, I guess I get to take credit, but I didn't do that much this time, but except for film, because I'm supposed to do that, and Mrs. Whiskey Bonnet tells me I need to be better about that, so I tried to do more content. Thus, this video. Thanks for coming along. Check out Redwood Empire. Man, I'm so geeked out on this. Thanks for watching the whole video. This is the end. So you made it all the way to the end. And I appreciate that, because that's what the algorithm's all about, right? The end. I think.